Welcome everybody to the Reality or Not podcast. It's your boy DJ Reality and your boy Eddie Williams. What up, Ed? Man, how you doing today?
I'm all right, man. What about yourself?
Doing pretty good, man. Dealing with a few things, but life is what it is. But everything's good, man. How's life going for you?
Yeah, I'll say the same. Yeah, the same. Yeah,
Cool,
nothing
cool,
special.
cool. All right, well, let's just go ahead and jump into it. How you been feeling about the NBA Finals? Who you think take it? You got OKC, the favorites. I think 6.5 point favorite. Then you got Indiana. With dealing with Halliburton recent injury, but he looked all right last game, even though he didn't score a lot of points. But how do you feel about that series?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really. I'm okay with either team winning. I think OKC being at home seems like they're the ones to go with since they'll be at home. Yeah, probably OKC. Like, I don't think if Indiana had like some playoff experience, like if this were like Boston and OKC, I might lean towards Boston because they had the experience, but I think Indiana and like OKC probably had like the same level of experience. So like I don't think um like they'll probably both be like battling nerves going into a game 7 of the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Um so I don't know. I mean, I think it'll be OKC, but I really don't. I mean, I'm cool with either team
You don't
winning.
have no horse in the race.
Nah. So, but I think it's gonna be OKC. I probably watch it. I haven't really watched the game in the finals.
Mhm.
Um, but
The
if I could
game's
stay
actually been
awake.
pretty good. The last one was kind of a blowout a little bit, but the other ones they've been kind of like, well, I think game 4 and game 5 they was kind of lopsided. If I remember, it was either game 4 and game 5, or game 6 and game 5, or game 4 and game 6 were like kind of lopsided,
Okay.
from what I remember. But other than that, I mean, they've been pretty close games. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of either, um, in the sense that I mean, put my money on it, I'll put OKC, but I wouldn't mind Indiana win it. I didn't realize that their franchises never won it.
Right.
Um,
Right.
OKC's franchise, quote unquote, never won it either. With the exception of them, within Seattle. But it'll be. I don't know how good that is for the NBA because two small market teams, and how does that? Because they said the ratings are pretty low on it, and ironically, the games have been pretty good, surprisingly. But it's just one of those things. Like I feel like this series, even though like I don't have a dog in the race, I would watch this over watching uh, Lakers and the Nets. Like was it 2002? I think.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was a series that I just didn't care about. And hell, even though I'm a fan of the Pistons, like that San Antonio Pistons in 2005, it's just sometimes it's hard. It's not hard to watch the Pistons, but it was harder to watch San Antonio because they just didn't play like a unique, like you had your start, like you had Tim Duncan and other players there, but they just weren't a great team to watch as far as live action dunking and all that stuff. So
I get that.
yeah.
I get
So
that sentiment.
how you feel about the KD trade?
I don't believe in KD, so I don't know that. I don't know that he's gonna go to Houston. But I guess if Houston was down on Jalen Green, I guess. But I don't know. It's crazy. Jalen Green, what was the number 2 pick in that same draft with Cade? Some people thought he could have been number 1. I know he's had his struggles. Um, like even in the playoffs. But I don't. So you got what? You got KD and what? Van Vliet. Um,
Wait, Van Vliet wasn't it? I know it was Dylan
no,
Brooks and
no, I'm talking about who the roster
who's in
looks
Houston
like
now? My
now.
bad, my bad.
But
Okay.
like, I don't see, I don't see the Rockets going no further than what they did this year. I just don't believe in KD, and I don't think KD is worth you
There was a lot of. I think it was 4 picks, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and they were second round picks, but they're giving up their pick this year, which is number 10.
Mm-hmm.
So you giving that up, you giving up Dylan Brooks. Like I think Dylan Brooks is one of the players who
I would have tried not to keep. I would try to keep Dylan Brooks if I was Houston. I like Dylan Brooks. He would have helped.
Yeah,
KD.
I think Dylan. Yeah, I think he plays defense. I think Dylan Brooks is that player like a Bill Laimbeer, Draymond Green, who if he's on your favorite team, you love him. If he's not on your favorite team and he's playing against your favorite team, you hate him. Mm-hmm. But like I think I go back to Memphis when he would go back and forth with LeBron. I think he's a little brash and everything, but
you need that sometimes, though. I mean, LeBron would, and like you said, LeBron would love to play with Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, and you can't have. At the end of the day, man, if you ask me, like, I prefer to have somebody that's gonna bark at LeBron than somebody that's just gonna be like, "Oh man, it's just an honor to play against one of the greatest players of all time." Blah blah blah. Like Dylan Brooks is like, "Nah, I can get with LeBron. Like he ain't, he want to talk. He's talking about in this moment right now. I ain't talking about Miami LeBron, Cleveland LeBron. I'm talking about LeBron right now. I can get with him and get with the Lakers, and he was talking his trash. I'm like, so I don't know. Like, I don't really. KD just don't. Excuse me. KD just don't. Like, I know there's some people that talked about if he would have went to the Pistons, like I think with all this stuff,
I don't want no star to ever go to the Pistons at the end of their career. I would rather, like, if they're gonna go when it mattered, like that. And even though, like, say for instance, even with Blake, I didn't think Blake was at the end of his career when he went there. And he still, I mean, he signed him for what, 150 million, something like that. But I mean, he was hooping. I mean, he was an all-star there. I mean, he was hooping. But I'm tired. Like, I don't want AI when he's on his way out. I didn't want what's the dude used to play for Orlando. I think he was only there for a year though. For Orlando, number 1.
McGrady?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about McGrady, bro.
Everybody forgot about McGrady. He was in that bitch for a minute. And then he went to Atlanta and had number and was doing all right. So
yeah, he just sat on the bench, but he sat on the bench in San Antonio too when he went to San Antonio. But like I said, he was at the tail end. I mean, I feel you though. But I just don't think KD is. Like, I remember when Chris Paul, he made a couple jumps. He went to OKC, then he went to Phoenix, then now he's in San Antonio. Like I'd always said, like, I would have loved for Chris Paul to come to Detroit, especially after they had Cade Cunningham. I was like, just because, like,
just for leadership perspective.
Yeah, and I was like, he would have taught them young boys about winning and all that. Like, I don't see KD doing that. Like, I even think about Vince Carter at the tail end of his career. Like, he wasn't necessarily doing a whole lot, but from my understanding, like, he was a great vet in the locker
room guy. Okay.
Yeah, because that's even the boy from the hometown, Deontay Davis. He played with the Grizzlies. I remember reading an article where, like, Vince set up a room in his house just for Deontay Davis. So whenever you want to come over, you could chill. Like, I mean, KD might do something like that, but
KD's just a hooper. KD's just gonna go from city to city and hoop. And
he just want to hoop.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, I can't speak to. I mean, because we're not directly in the locker room, but he just doesn't seem like a good. Like he doesn't seem like the person that's go lead the conversation on coming back from a 15-point lead or trying to get to the. And like I said, he may be that guy, but I've never heard that of him. So,
and it felt like if he was that guy, he would have. Because I think people, with KD, people talk about that running Golden State, talk about how Golden State couldn't have done it without him. Like, I think KD's showing you that he couldn't do it without Golden State with Draymond, Steph, Clay. Like,
I think he made it easier for him.
Yeah, like
I think it was a coin flip at a point in time with Cleveland and Golden State when they. I mean, and even then, like even without KD, Golden State was from 2016 until maybe like 2019, they was always the favorite if they were all healthy. But then they all got caught with them injuries, and KD went there. But when KD went there, it was like it was. I remember me and you having a conversation like it was like what 95 whatever about when we made the bet about the Bulls winning, and then next thing you know, Rodman went there, and it was like damn. Shit, like I mean, that bet was made before, and it was like damn, they they got a roster.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing to me about like KD going to Golden State, man. That's probably one of the things with Golden State. Like, man, you just do your due diligence. You think twice to yourself, man, we can't really get KD like his squad. They what they just take what. Did they? No, they didn't beat Golden State. No, Golden State that came back on them and won. But like you think it to yourself,
which one?
When before the season before KD left OKC, didn't OKC had Golden State down 3-1?
Yeah, they had them down 3-1 and came back.
Golden State came back, and so because I remember people saying like, man, you gonna go to the team that just like that you had down 3-1. But I think Golden State, man, like I think every NBA team at that point, like when a free agent hits the market, you do your due diligence to make those calls. Like there's talks with Giannis. Every team is going to do their due diligence. And like Golden State probably just like, okay, let's put the call in. And then they was like, oh shit, he interested. And you thinking to yourself like, we don't really need KD, but if he gonna come, to what you say, he gonna make it easier. And I think you saw that like when you saw the Brooklyn run. Now you see the run in Phoenix, and people gonna tell you that like injuries happen. Like they're gonna point to like I think with Kyrie getting hurt, and over here in Phoenix you had I don't even know who got Bill wasn't always playing, but you had Booker though, like and so it's like yeah man, but KD is you got injuries, but you KD, and you should be able to. So like you said, like you said, maybe he is that locker room guy, but like you from what we've heard about him throughout his career, how you've seen him, he don't seem to be that guy. Like, and he seemed to be the guy to me, like he don't really want to take accountability. Like, I'll be honest, like Houston to me as a young squad, I wouldn't have went for
KD, honestly. I think KD's a draw, but I don't see a reason. Like Jalen Green was really good. And like I said, he was only, I don't know how, he was what, 23, 20? Yeah. Like, he got me in his 20s. I mean, he's definitely in his 20s, but like lower 20s. And granted, he did kind of disappear in the playoffs a little bit, but I mean,
but that's stuff you can learn from. Yeah, because this was the first or second year with Amadoka?
I think it's his second year.
So I mean, I think
they just finally they were starting to piece it together because last year they were very scrappy, but I don't think they didn't make the playoffs. Right. But then this year they really like shit. They was what number 2 in the West, I think.
Yeah, so. And I think I think he had a good coach in Houston. That I think if he's inside, you don't know what was said in locker rooms. Like you don't know, could it be that he was appearing to be uncoachable? Like we don't maybe that is, but like I think if it's just that like he's inconsistent right now, like I think you can work with him on that. Like, because I think about Jay Will when he was in Sacramento, flashy passes, all that. Like I had a high turnover to assist ratio. He go to the Grizzlies, play for UB Brown, and he kind of get that under control. Yeah. And like it's just that you get you get your first years in the league, you Jalen Green, like you first got to Houston, man, you just told like.
Niggas like Willie Beeman, nigga. Like Willie Beeman had to figure it out.
And I think if I thought this could get them a chip, I'd be like, okay, I get it. If you think you can get a chip out of this, fine. But I don't think you're gonna get a chip out of it, and I don't think KD is the veteran that's gonna help your young players like learn how to win, learn how to be accountable, how to play the game. Like I said, if you got Chris Paul, would have came back to Houston, I'd be like, hey, that young team with a Chris Paul, and I can't think of too many other like Chris Paul to me is the one that just pops up in my head. I think of the impact that he's had on teams in the past.
But I
Like
wouldn't
four.
trade him. I wouldn't trade him for that though. I wouldn't trade
No,
him.
that's all. No, I want to try that, but I'm just saying, like
They signed him like they signed him in San Antonio.
yeah, like
Yeah, because they
I
didn't have
guess
to
what
give
I'm
up nothing for him. I think he signed like
yeah,
veteran minimum, whatever. So
yeah. I guess what I'm just saying is like I don't think KD is worth you um in some ways bargaining your future. Trading away your future. I don't think he's worth that. And I don't think if I'm trying to think what kind of veteran player out there is like on KD's level that will like if you had a veteran player that was kind of on that same level or close to that KD level, but but you knew was a leader on the court, like
that's a
like
tough
Dray,
one.
yeah, Draymond comes to mind, but he's not on KD's level, so you definitely wouldn't be giving up a Jalen Green. You might do a Dylan Brooks and a couple of picks. But then I don't know that I'd do Dylan Brooks for Draymond Green, honestly. Like
I mean, he's not like old yet, but
yeah,
but he's old. But what about what's his name? Lillard. I think Lillard has the talent to still be impactful. I'm not sure how much of a locker room. He seems like he would be a decent locker room guy, but
yeah, I can see that.
I can
know he's
see
legit.
him maybe, but I don't know what Milwaukee would have wanted back, if they traded for him. So, but
yes,
I mean, I see Trae Young as that talent, but I really don't see Trae Young as a locker room guy.
No, but if you would have told me
and those are,
I maybe would have done that trade because Trae Young's a young player.
Yeah,
and I think Trae Young led the league in assists last year, so I think some of that he's learning, to be a point guard and all of that, but he can get buckets.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I would have maybe done if I was Houston in that case, I would have tried to hold on to Dylan Brooks, but I think they should have done it in this case too. But if you would have told me that trade was,
I'd put because his contract got to be higher than his Van Fleet. I would think because I know he signed like a nice. I think he signed for like $40 million a year, something like that.
A nice little deal,
huh?
He signed a nice. He signed a nice deal. So what? Like I said, I don't know what it is, but it's nice.
I feel like it's $40 million a year, like 39. I know it's up there. So
yeah. So I would have done that. Like I would have done Trae Young, but I'm thinking because in my mind Trae Young he's a young player. Like I said, I don't know that he's necessarily the great locker room guy, but then to me you're getting to the point where you're talking about an all-star.
I think Ime is a good coach though, so you don't have to press for the great locker room guy as much. You do need leadership on the court, and honestly, I mean, thinking about how their roster is set up right now, Van Fleet probably be that guy. I don't really see nobody else leading that team unless it's like you're leading it from the youth perspective.
Right. Yeah. But no, I don't think we're gonna see Houston make no run. I don't think we're gonna see Houston get to the Western Conference Finals. Maybe the second round. Maybe
I can see them second round, but honestly, I think Minnesota gets better. I think Minnesota gonna have to figure out. I don't know, man. Minnesota's a weird team. Like I said, I like Edwards a lot. But it's like, and I like Julius Randle too. So I don't know if they just have to mesh more for the following year, because that was like not the last minute, but that was like their first season together. But because it's not like they're what are they missing? Because I even like Dante DiVincenzo, shooting. So I really, and what's his McDaniels, like he's dope. He's like, you watch him, like if it wasn't for Ant Edwards, not to say he's at his level, but that dude could just freaking hoop. Like when he's off the court and he's just in the ball, when Ant's off the court and Jay McDaniels, the ball is in his hands, like he looks very good out there. So
I think Minnesota. To me, I look at Minnesota like I look at I feel like Ant has to lose. Like I think for Ant, like the game comes pretty easy to him right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even like some of the success that he had in the playoffs, because he got to the Western Conference Finals last year,
Mm-hmm.
But they were there. Yeah, they were there this year, right? Yeah,
Yep.
because it
Two
was them
years
at
in a row.
OKC. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you go 2 years in a row, and I think last year, because you remember last year was because it looked like the that was the second year that you had Cat and Gobert playing together. The first year it looked like it was disaster, and it seemed like things just kind of clicked,
Mm-hmm.
and they made the run. Like I think for Ant, I think Ant kind of like in some way, like I think Ant sometimes you listen to him talk and everything. Like I think because even in this playoffs, like you heard him kind of get up for Golden State, you heard him get up for the Lakers. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't seem like he got up too much for OKC, but he was probably thinking that OKC was on on their level, whereas
Mm-hmm.
he was looking at Golden State and the Lakers as Golden
These
State
large
being
franchises. Mm-hmm. These
yeah,
huge
you on
franchises of
top of
people
them.
to beat. I got to beat Steph. I got to beat LeBron. So
Yeah, you don't see that OKC, but I think like I think when Ant like loses a little bit and like actually like turns around, like really focuses and like really dedicates himself to winning. Um, I think Minnesota could like because like I said, they got the pieces. And like even this, like you said, it was their first year together with Julius Randle.
mhm.
Um,
He was hooping.
you
I mean, it was some
yeah
games he disappeared, but but he was shooting like over 50. I think it was like one point, like one. He was like over 60, and then of course, like he had like a bad shooting game. He dropped it down back to the 40s and 50s. But like,
yeah
it was some games where he was shooting like over 60% from the field. I'm like, this dude is, especially against the Lakers. He had a field day against the Lakers, that
yeah.
series. So. Um,
So I think they can be okay. Um,
hmm. That's interesting. So, how do you feel about the musical? I was just thinking about this just now, like the musical chairs of like all of the players that used to be in OKC. You talking Russell, you talking James Harden, you talking KD. Because at one point, I mean, you had Russ and Harden in Houston at one point in time. You had Harden and KD in Boston at one point in time, and it's like, and then hell, you had Harden and Russ as Clippers at one point in time. So it's just like how you feel about that music? Because it seemed like they just kind of just, don't get me wrong, they couldn't all hoop. And I don't know if it was true or not. It was some deal that said I think it might have been fake because I don't know if the European leagues can offer that, but it was saying something like 150 million for like 3 years for Russ to go play in Israel. I think it was. Um,
mm.
so, but like, does that stick out to you? Does that, because it seemed like those three players, in my opinion, can't find a home.
Oh, yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, they probably had like the best home unless she was actually was probably like OKC, but um, man, I don't know. In some ways, man,
I mean,
I
Harden had
think
a great year
yeah,
last year. I mean, he was a wasn't he all NBA?
he might have been.
I think he was even all
It's,
NBA last year. I know he was up there. I know he's all star. I think he was all NBA too, if I remember correctly.
I don't know, like Harden and KD to me, man, they strike me as they're doing musical chairs just because they just like man, they just can't be content anywhere, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the minute like they start like because like I'm like yeah, Harden had a good year this past year or just this season.
Mm-hmm.
Man, who's to say like and he flew under the radar. Man,
Mm-hmm.
who's to say like man something will happen in the off season, Harden will be upset about it, and then he'll come into camp 100 pounds over and demand a trade, and they get traded somewhere, and overnight he'll be back to his playing weight. Like KD and Harden to me, like I don't know, man. They just man, they in some ways to me they kind of built the same, man. Like as far as their
And that's what I
personalities,
was getting from it. Yeah.
I don't know that Russ necessarily is. I think Russ a little bit reminds me of like Iverson at the tail end of his career, where like he wanted to play the game on his terms. And I think you saw Russ kind of in Denver this year. You know, he kind of like embrace the role. And I don't know that it wasn't that he didn't want to embrace the role with the Lakers. I think on one hand, like the Lakers brought him in, and it's like it probably wasn't the best fit. Like it sounds cool, like Russ, LeBron, and AD, like Russ coming home to LA. Like it sounds cool, but like you think about it on paper, it really wasn't that great of a matchup. And I think Russ took a lot of
he took a lot of
a
heat.
lot of blame for and it wasn't.
What's crazy about that? My bad friend, but what's crazy about that is you can't put that type of you got to put certain players around LeBron. Yeah, and Russ isn't that. Russ needs the ball in his hands. When you have a great player, when they need the ball, like Russ is good or could be good. I don't know if he's going back, but he could be good with Denver because Jokic don't need the ball in his hand to be successful. And Jamal Murray needs the ball in the hand to be good, but I feel like him and Russ can trade out. Like if Russ is coming off the bench, that time isn't really that bad. But when you got a player like this is what people don't understand about playing with LeBron. LeBron is not an off the ball player. He's going to have the ball in his hands because that's when he's most effective. You're not going to take the ball out of his. Like if you say LeBron, if you ever tell LeBron, hey, you got to play off of the ball, that means, in my opinion, okay, he's retiring. Like, I mean, he's damn near should be retired now if he wanted. I mean, but he's still successful. So you wouldn't expect him to retire. You take him off of the ball, it's like, well, who are you taking him off the ball for? Because Russ needs frequency to be successful. Yeah. Russ can go to a team now. I don't think no team would do it. Russ can go to a team now, start, and damn near average that triple-double that he's putting up years ago. I mean, it's a reach. Like I said, we haven't seen it in a while. But hell, even when he was in LA, I think it was like maybe like 10 or 12, 7 and 7. Like he wasn't like terrible, but his turnovers were like fucking like he would just look bad trying to play within that ecosystem of the Lakers. So it's just like he's one of them players that's stuck that he has a talent to be. It's almost like the Carmelo when Carmelo was on his way out, right? Like Carmelo getting moved from. I mean, Carmelo eventually figured it out in Portland, but Carmelo going from OKC, and actually OKC, he was pretty good, but going to OKC and then going to Houston, and then Houston was the last stop where he was out of the league damn near a year and a half. And then he went to Portland, had good numbers, and then ended up at the Lakers.
Go to the Lakers, it was.
Yeah, but I don't know if you ever watched this interview. It's this interview with him. He was talking. He was saying how what was promised to him in Houston was totally different. Like when he got down there, they told him like, well, we're only going to have – it was something like we're only going to have 2 mid-range shots in the like from you and Chris Paul. And Chris Paul – are most likely going to take those 2. So essentially, you take away how effective Carmelo can be as a player. Like Carmelo is a mid-range player. Like he's not. They were like, well, you can shoot threes, but Melo's not like a pop and shoot three type of person. He's a create the offense type of player. So you kind of see how great players have to fit within the system, but at the same time, they're not going to fit like it. The funny part to me about the Melo thing, right, is that maybe 3 years before that, Houston was openly recruiting him to come and play there, to give him a max deal. And then you talking, he gets there, he's on a 10-day, which is great. I mean, the NBA is so not fickle, but you gotta. That's why I tell people all the time, like, get the money because the money may not be there. Like you said, you had Melo, damn near being courted to go to all of these places, and then now he's fighting for a 10-day contract, and then didn't make it. Shit. So
so you got to strike when the iron's hot.
Yeah. So, but I'm trying to think of any other team Do you think Boston can bounce back? Like, because how long is he going to be out? I want to say Tatum. That injury, if I remember correctly, that's like a long recovery injury.
I think he's projected to miss the year. I mean, from what I understand, Boston's supposed to be trying to move people to get under that super luxury tax or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if that's the case, then I don't know. Like I would have. I think you. If it was me, I'd just let Jaylen Brown run the show. Like I think Jaylen Brown can give you 25 a game.
Yeah.
Like, and I think the other pieces you got there, you got right as it goes now. You got Chris Stapps, you got Drew Holiday, you got what is his name, Pritchard.
I like Pritchard, and he on a good deal too. I mean, he's not on a good deal, but he's on a company deal that works out for Boston. I think he's at like $8 million a year, something like that. So
yeah, so I mean, but if Boston, they don't want to go over and pay that luxury tax, then I mean, to me, then they're. I don't know how you necessarily bounce back, and I almost feel like in some instances you're probably, when you get Jaylen Brown back, I mean not Jaylen, when you get Jason Tatum back, you're gonna be in a partial rebuild mode, because if you're gonna be if you're talking about getting rid of pieces, I don't know that Jaylen Brown makes it through the year necessarily.
I mean, so let me think about it like this. So you got Kristaps Porzingis. I think he's around like 30 million or 29 or somewhere around there. Drew Holiday is around like 34. Derek White, I think he's around like 32 or 30 as well. Can you getting rid of one of those pieces? I mean, can you say get under luxury? Well, so I don't know if you had answers, but like getting under that luxury tax, how do you get under the luxury tax from players that have multiple year deals? Like, how do you, like, is it just trading for picks, or like, I don't know how that works.
I don't think you probably try to shave some of the salary, trading for picks, trading to a team that has like cap room. So you find a team that has like maybe cap room in this offseason, you try to tell them like, hey, here, like take Pritchard off our hand. Well, not because take Derek White off our hands.
Pritchard's huge. I'm like $8 million. I'm like, man, you got to keep him. He give you 40 points or 30 points, and then so
yeah. But I mean, like take Derek White like 30 million. You maybe take back maybe 10 million back in salary or something like that. But you got, I mean, it's dependent on you finding a team that has a cap space and wants to take on that big contract.
Okay.
I don't know. Like how many teams?
That got to be a good relationship.
Believe in Derek White like that.
That got to be a good. Derek White is dope, but that just got to be.
He's dope, but he's.
But you ain't gonna go over the cap. Well, like you said, it depends on if they're under the if they end up potentially over the cap to take them. I don't know how that. I need to have a better understanding of that. I'm like, how can they literally get rid of these? Because they ain't gonna get rid of all three, but it's like, well, if you had to pick between them three, who do you get rid of? I don't think they get rid of Derek White, and
I'm probably try to get rid of Drew Holiday or Porzingis. Probably start with Drew Holiday, which I think is gonna be hard to move him because you like to move him, but I don't know how many.
Who's gonna take a 34-year-old aging or a 34 million a year aging? I don't want to say star, like aging defensive player.
Yeah, and I think he's good enough where he could probably, if you're a contender, he might be able to.
And shout out to Drew, man. Drew is actually pretty. I like Drew. Like he's one of them. Like Drew would, in my opinion, be good in Detroit. He's one of those type of players that can elevate the defense and honestly probably make the Thompson twin that much better, even though he's older.
Yeah, and so that becomes, if you're Detroit, who do you have the cap space? And if you have the cap space, who do you take on, or do you just try to entice Boston with like draft picks? Mm-hmm. Boston might be willing to like take draft picks, or maybe somebody with a I don't know, Isaiah Stewart. I don't know. I'm just gonna say Isaiah Stewart. Maybe take Isaiah Stewart out, but I don't know what he made. But whatever. I'm gonna say Isaiah Stewart to somebody with like maybe
My suspicion is maybe 10 million because he's what he's been in the league for a minute, right?
yeah. So you might you might be able to move for somebody like that, and then.
But then Isaiah Stewart's kind of like the defense, like not I
Yeah,
want to say the anchor to the defense, but like he's an important part, right? I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I do think it'd be good for Drew, like because Detroit, in my opinion, has always kind of had the organization that's built off of defense first, the offense second type of deal. And I mean, I think there's sufficient offense there now, but Drew would make them an extremely interesting team. I don't think he would shift them to first round to perennial champions, but he's that type of talent that he goes to teams and he wins.
right.
If he was in Minnesota still, or not Minnesota, Milwaukee still, he could be that piece that they were missing to be able to get to the second round. So, but
definitely.
I don't know, man. And let me ask you this question, man. What's been going on with Shannon Sharp? Have you been like paying attention to anything, or have you heard? I haven't. I feel like they was talking about the chick for like so long, and then I haven't heard shit about. And I don't know if it's the Diddy shit that's like kind of covering up everything, but like I ain't heard nothing about that. I barely heard about the Tyler Perry shit, and I don't know if you know about that, but that shit is fucking weird too. But man, like, are we? I guess this could be like a larger question. Like, are we in that age of where? I mean, it's gonna start getting old. It's almost what is it? What do you call it? What's it called? It crying sheep or what's the phrase?
Crying wolf.
When you crying wolf. Yeah, that's my bad. Yeah, like, are we getting towards that age of where you just throwing out a lawsuit because you had some type of interaction with somebody famous? Because you heard about the Tyler Perry thing, right?
Barely, a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny. I was watching you watched the Boondocks episode, right? The pause episode.
Yeah.
I was watching this shit the other day. This shit is fucking hilarious. It was like, Grandpa trying to get into one of the Tyler Perry stories and stuff like that. And I didn't realize I was watching. I forgot the dude that wrote for him. They wrote for Aaron Magruder, Boondocks. And he was talking about how initially they had his name in it, and then the network told them they had to change it. So then they used his real name, and he said it slipped under the cracks. And then, like, before they was about to release it, they had to re-record it again because of they had found out about it. So then they changed it to just some. I forgot it was Emmett. I forgot what they changed the name to, but I was literally watching the other day. But yeah, man, like, what's going on with us, man? Like, well, not with us because we're not a part of that larger deal, but like, what's up? Like, where are we at in society? Like, are we still? I mean, I don't want to get to the point of saying victim blaming or anything like that. So, like, where are we at within our black circle of you talking? Like I said, you got Shannon, you got Tyler, you got Puff. Like, how do you feel about any of this stuff?
I don't know. I don't. I don't know. I mean, no, I think the Puff thing is like completely a whole nother realm than what you're talking about with Tyler Perry and Shannon Sharp. Like, there's maybe some pieces to it, but I think the Puff thing is a whole nother. That's a whole nother thing. There's a lot going on in that trial. Lot just going on. I don't know if Shannon and Tyler Perry. Like, I just heard Tyler Perry something about like a sexual assault or something. Like I said, I don't know much about it, but like, I mean, the thing is,
went deep into it. The white dude went deep into it. Said like he got him a part in the movie and stuff like that, and he was sending him texts talking about like what it is to be a man, and it, like It's a lot of shit. Like it's weird because, like I said, it's weird for me because I like, not that I don't fuck with Tyler Perry, but I don't fuck with Tyler Perry. Like I don't watch Tyler Perry. Like I've tried, and I tell people all the time, like if I find something interesting, I'll check it out. If I don't, I won't. You know what I'm saying? So I've tried to watch Tyler Perry movies, and I just feel like we get negative views, kind of how black men are viewed, and I'm not like taking the stand for the black man delegation or anything like that. But at the same time, it's like it's just sometimes it just feels like bad acting. And one thing I watched some interview and it was saying how like he's very fast the way he works, and he try to get you to get the things done within like, you know, days or weeks rather than months. And I was thinking like, damn, like that could be my problem with it. Like I've never been a fan of, I'm not even a fan of like mixtapes. Like only type of mixtapes I like 50 mixtapes back in the day. I actually like Lil Wayne mixtapes. And then some of the Jeezy mixtapes and stuff like that. But I never been a fan of like, oh, even Clue. I didn't mention that one, but I was never a fan of music being pushed out as quickly just to quote unquote feed the streets. I prefer the album over most mixtapes. Like there hasn't been, like outside of maybe So Far Gone, there hasn't been like a mixtape that I preferred over the album. You know, people would tell you like, oh well, the DJ dramas or the dedication to any of these other mixtapes that came out there, that they were, you know, the best thing that artist put out. But I've never been that. So I'm equating that to like, I feel like we getting mixtape movies and shit. And I'm like, I don't like shit churned. I like quality and quality over quantity. It's almost like the Master P shit, right? Like I was so exhausted of all of the Master P albums or from the Master P artists that were coming out versus like somebody giving me an album every 2 years, or, you know, and even Jay-Z kind of changed that experience for me where, you know, Jay-Z started to come out with albums like every year, but it was quality albums every year. And he wasn't like throwing a mixtape in there to convince me to buy the album. He was just doing quality albums, you know, versus like, okay, well, I'm going to do an album, then I'm going to give you 5 mixtapes and I'm going to do like, I'm not listening to those 5 mixtapes in that scenario. So I'm saying that from the Tyler Perry's perspective. Like I feel like his movies are like mixtape movies, and it's pretty exhausting to watch bad acting and it's all. So I'll equate it even more, and I think Jay-Z did this. It's Jay-Z's fault. Is that, you know, this whole I write rhymes in my head, you know, versus like sitting down, writing on the pad and stuff like that, and making sure that it's as cohesive as possible. And I feel like Jay-Z's great at it, but other artists aren't. Where, you know, you have people like, oh, well, I'm just gonna, you know, I'm not gonna write nothing. It's gonna be Jay-Z one take, you know, type of mentality. And I feel like that kind of ruined music, not from Jay-Z's perspective, but for other artists trying to achieve or to try to do what he was able to do.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think what Tyler Perry is, I don't necessarily knock him on that, but like he has a formula. All this stuff follows a certain formula. From my understanding, he doesn't have a writer's room. Mm-hmm. Like and from what I understand, I was my niece had mentioned during not this past writer's strike, but the one before that, Tyler Perry felt like he was, and somebody else can fact check this, but from my understanding was that his frustration out of that writer's strike at that point made him decided that he wasn't going to have a production of his show be held up because of something like a writer's strike. So, from my understanding, he does most of the writing himself, which I think he said. Because there's a couple of shows on BET that like I just kind of got hooked into, like Sisters. Sister, it's like a universe. I think it's Sisters, All the Queensmen, and Zatima. And
That's funny. I went to the All the Queensmen what do you call it? Release. Like when it first came out, it was here in Atlanta. Like I got an All the Queensmen t-shirt, nigga, that you can have if you want it.
Nope, don't want it. Don't want it. Nope.
Yeah, that shit was.
Nope.
So you like that show?
It won't. I mean, in some ways, they're kind of like a bad accident to me. Look, I watched.
You just look to make sure that. Oh, they still.
No, it's one of those things that like some stuff like when I get into watching it, I just get into it, and some of they're similar to like nighttime soap operas to me. You know, I watch General Hospital. The CBS has dropped the black one like I watch. So like they're the kind of shows that I put on and I don't necessarily have to pay attention to. They'll be on the background. I'll be playing games on my phone. I'll be balancing my checkbook or balancing my accounts, like, and it'll come on. But like the thing about them though is that where those three shows are in the same universe, and this was like, you know, I've had the conversation, you know, with my sister, my niece when I talk about it. Like in the Marvel universe, you're only going to see Samuel L. Jackson playing Nick Fury. Like this thing where Robert Downey Jr. is now playing Dr. Doom is like blowing people's minds because it just doesn't seem like something that should happen. Whereas in the Tyler Perry universe, like there's a couple of characters that have been on like two of those three shows, 2 out of the 3, and they've played different characters.
Oh, really?
And it's like, wait, but he was this on this, and some of it I guess I can
no continuation.
Yeah, and then even some of it is just like in the continuity of the writing. So like, the show's Zatima is a spinoff of Sisters. From my understanding, I thought they should be in the same timeline. But Zatima, the chick Fatima's pregnant, but she ain't pregnant on Sisters. And they don't make no reference to the pregnancy.
Oh, okay.
But it's supposed to be, y'all supposed to be on the same timeline. So she should be pregnant. I'm like, if you were to watch a show that had like multiple shows in the same universe, like a Marvel show, like if Black Widow was pregnant, like
she'd be pregnant and
she's gonna be pregnant when she pop up somewhere else. Yeah. And then some of us, you don't read the timeline. Like, man, I think they got to like, man, I think they're on season 7. Yo, this chick been pregnant since season 1. Like
that sounds like a girl off a Family Guy. Was that Family? Yeah, that's Family Guy, right? That she been pregnant the whole. Like,
yeah. Except that's a fucking cartoon. Like, and it's like you look like. Let me even Teresa talk about it. Like, I think one time they did like a 2-month time jump. But it's the weird things about that. But I think Tyler Perry has his fans. Excuse me, because my mom was a big fan going back to like the plays and all that. I know Raymond liked them and everything. Like Patrice watched them to a degree. But I think Tyler Perry has this thing that if his name is on something, people will check it out. And I think, like, I'm not saying that's great. Like, if you say you're not a Tyler Perry fan, like, I completely understand. Like, years ago, I got into a debate with somebody at work, like I understand why you like Tyler Perry, but don't tell me that he's Spike Lee. Don't tell me that as far as like
I don't like Spike Lee. Shit.
Fair enough, but I'll say that like I told him.
But Tyler Perry is not Spike Lee though. Is what I'm saying. I don't even have to like Spike Lee. I know, but I can respect Spike Lee. There's nothing wrong with like. I just don't like. It's elements of Spike Lee that I don't like. Yeah. Spike Lee's a good director, but no, we're not comparing Tyler to Spike Lee. Spike Lee is still up here. And like I said, it's just like, you know, I mean, I'm trying to think of somebody else who I don't really fuck. Like Lauryn Hill. Like Lauryn Hill is one of the most amazing artists ever. But at the same time, I don't fuck with her, and because I don't fuck with her because of the things that she do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not to say that she like Spike Lee does the things that she does, but you know, Miseducation if somebody be like, that's my favorite album ever, I'll be like, yeah, that's cool. If somebody say Do the Right Thing is my favorite album or favorite movie ever, I'll be like, okay, that's cool, you know. So
and the thing I tell people, like I've said, like about Tyler Perry,
but
like,
nigga, if you say a Tyler Perry movie is your favorite movie ever, nigga, like, I'll be like, what the fuck? For real?
But and what I tell people though is I say, like, man, the same way that, like, because sometimes people go on Tyler Perry the whole like putting out, like, you know, low quality material, you know, is a bad look for us as black people. And I said, look, if white people can put out like trashy material, like, just, I was like, then we as black people should be able to do the same thing. And to me, like, if you don't rock with Tyler Perry, that's cool. Like, because I get it. Like, I get it. But like,
people do what you want to do. Like,
I
like Tyler Perry, all the respect to him. He's a dope ass facilitator of putting things together as far as creating a studio, creating movies that people or that like certain people like, all that stuff. Look, I don't have to like it, you know, but I respect it, you know, but you know, like,
exactly, yeah.
You know, I'm not going to even, you know, like, especially talking in front of white people, I'm not going to like downgrade them and say, you know, like, it's just kind of like the black people narrative, like, don't say that in front of no white people.
And that I can be cool with it. And like, and if you want to have the critique of Tyler Perry, and the thing is, like, while I say Tyler Perry is entitled to putting out low quality stuff, it's still fair game to be criticized. Mm-hmm. Like, if I'm telling somebody, if somebody tells me they love like this whole Sisters, All the Queens, man, is a team of universe, don't get mad when I start like breaking down inconsistencies for you. Like, also, there's one scene where, like, our sisters, where these dudes are hooping. It's night, they're hooping, like, and it's two dudes who, funny enough, so it's two dudes who, the chick that's been pregnant for like damn near the whole show, like, it's up in the air who, at one point it was up in the air who the father was. And so they're hooping, and she shows up to the basketball court, and she comes over, and so the second guy, the one who, like, there was one guy, Zach, who she was with a long time, and the other guy, what was his name?
Oh, so the two niggas that's hooping is the two people that they trying to figure out who the baby was from?
Yes, but this is the thing. And, you know, it was like a 4-4, 5-5, maybe a 3-on-3 situation. They all hooping.
Oh, then they fucking up the hoop court and shit. Like,
this is the thing though. So she come. I'm gonna just say his name is Derek. I can't remember. Zach is her original boyfriend, and Derek is the guy who she kind of met. And so she goes because Derek is there. So she's speaking to Derek. Zach walks up while they're talking, but the way Zach acts, as if this is his first time seeing Derek. And when I went back and rewound, I was like, yo, I think they're on the same team. And I'm like, yo, like, when Tyler wrote this,
the inconsistency of the hey, you know what's funny about that? You know what that reminds me of? You ever well, of course you've seen Above the Rim, but if you ever pay attention to the editing of that, and this is what I thought. Sometimes when my man number 55, he passes it to number 55. Number 55 goes up for a dunk. It's the same white dude or whatever.
Like, and that's how I look at the Tyler Perry stuff, and I just say, like, I'm like, and so, like, while I find it entertaining, I will also sit here with Patrice and my niece, like, and we'll sit here.
There's never wrong with watching bad TV.
No, there's not. But, like, I won't, like, and I don't know how we got on this thing about Tyler Perry shows, but, like, I to me, I say it's all like it's like I said, like, Tyler Perry. I think you said it, No Limit. I think there's a formula. I think Tyler Perry, like his television shows, his movies, there's a formula that he wants to follow those, and it's almost like he just it's almost like he damn near has a script, and it's like just plug in this. Okay, plug in this character. Plug in an angry black woman. Plug in a black man that's like ultimately
A
should.
gardener and shit just got out of
Yeah,
jail and
Gardner.
shit.
Yeah, just out of jail. He's the bus driver. She falls for this, down on his luck. Like, and it's like he has different scripts and he just plugs in different things. Like his TV shows, I've noticed his TV shows seem to have more of a scandalous vibe to them. So I feel like he puts in like, okay, I think the Oval Office might have been his show. It's like, hey, let's do a BET version of the show Scandal. Like, and I've never seen the Oval Office, so it might not be that, but that's the impression I got from the little clips I see. And it's like, but the acting is, and I've said like those three shows that I mentioned are all in the same universe. The acting to me is horrible. I know. The best acting is probably on all the Queensmen, and that's because I think she used to be Eva or something, but she was on American.
Yeah,
She was on that top bottom show.
I got a picture with her somewhere. She fine.
Yeah. Now that show's
I literally went to the premiere of the show when it was in Atlanta. It was like 2-3 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
It was,
and that show's not bad. Yeah,
it wasn't that bad. It was just some weird, like because we watched the premiere. I was like, yeah, this is probably a show I probably won't, But I'll say this. This is my thing, right? I can be. It just depends on the show, right? I can engage in good or bad TV.
Yeah.
And that's just what I know that. Okay, if I start out all the Kingsmen. And I'm gonna watch, and that's the thing. Like I'm trying to not necessarily protect myself, but I know that if I sit there and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch 4 episodes of All the Kingsmen, I'm gonna watch all of it just because I'm the complete.
You gotta finish it out.
I'm that type of person. Like I need to see where it goes. So that's my hard time with soap operas and stuff like that. Like that shit never ends.
Never ends. Yeah.
So I know that. I don't know if I think I told the story before, but like how my uncle, when all my children ended and all my children and One Life to Live ended, and he was like, "What you go do?" Like that they ended, and the nigga said, "Get a job." And I was like, "That's like this show been on for 40 plus years." And you're like, "Well, fuck it, shit. I'm gonna go to work now, shit."
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's some of that stuff never is. Like I started off watching Sisters because you see the clips on Facebook and you're like, oh, okay, what's the show about? Then you look, you like, yo, this shit dumb as hell. But then you hear about the little spinoff of the Zatima, so you like, okay, now I gotta watch Zatima. And then you look and you see like one of the characters from All the Queen's Men show up. You like, dang. Now I gotta watch All the Queens, man, and that's what it is for me now. Like it's like now I got caught up on all of it, and now it's not at the little top of my list. I gotta finish my last 2 episodes of Daredevil. Then I want to do Andor. Like it ain't gonna be at the top of the list.
Coming back, right? Dexter.
Didn't they just do something with that? Like
they did the Dexter. They did the prequel, but the Resurrection is coming July 11th.
What Resurrection?
Dexter.
What? Oh, how? Didn't he get killed?
No.
So he didn't get killed. Did you
watch Dexter Next Blood?
No, I did. So he had a confrontation with his son, right? At the end.
Yeah, and then he shot him or stabbed him. I can't remember. Something happened where he was bleeding shit. But apparently he's living.
He didn't really die.
No, they're never gonna kill Dexter. And honestly, when they had that nigga driving to the storm, that was I read something that they said that they did not. When he came back, he was a lumberjack and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They were saying that they didn't want to kill him off so it could be potential future shows. And when did Dexter end? It had to have been like 2010, 2011, and I feel like I was in Michigan. It was done because I know Breaking Bad was like the thing before I moved back to Michigan. But all that being said, the prequel shit was actually pretty good. Surprisingly, like the dude played a good Dexter, but it's like almost they creating the Dexter universe type of shit. But nigga ain't dead. Like the nigga, like I watched the trailer the other day. He's moving in. He's somehow end up in New York. He's with what's the Mexican dude from Alvarez? Was it Alvarez?
Angel
Alvarez, right?
Something like that. Oh, he's with him?
Huh?
He's with him?
So in the trailer, he's with him. And then somehow he ends up in New York with I hate to pinpoint his name, but he ends up in New York with Tyrion from Game of Thrones. I forgot his actor name.
I don't know, man. I guess,
but yeah, I'm getting exhausted. I mean, you know, I'm a huge Dexter fan, and I'm like, all right, man, just go. Because honestly, when I watched Next Blood, I was like, okay. I felt like they were deviating from Dexter's character of protecting the code. And Dexter never openly murdered anybody where he wasn't able to get out of it. So yeah. I feel like when they did that in the show, I feel like that was the end.
Yeah, I didn't care for that, man. I hated his son.
His son was a hoe.
Yeah, I hated that. Man, I don't. Like I do want to check out the prequel, but I'm kind of like
the prequel was good. The prequel was actually pretty good, surprisingly. I was like, okay, they actually did due justice or due diligence on that one. So,
and I think to some extent, like if you're gonna try to stay in the canon of the original series, there's certain things you gotta follow along with in the prequel. Mm-hmm. These sequels, man, you ain't got to like you said. It was like Dexter's Code got thrown out the window. Like, then you bring in this son who's a little hoe. Like, it was just it just wasn't good.
Nah, it you know, and I tried. Like I said, I'm okay with. I was okay with Deb dying. I
was, but I didn't need to see Deb's ghost.
I mean, well, yeah, I didn't need to see Deb as what do you call it? The passenger or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. And like, look, man, you already got your dark passenger. The dark passenger's your daddy, man. You can't switch your dark passenger out.
Now, this is what's dope about the new one is that they brought the daddy back.
So he was just on vacation and let Deb take his spot.
You know, they tried. I was watching some video on it. And they tried to explain it. They were saying how, with him not murdering, because apparently within that, the new blood that he had murdered in like 10 years. So it was almost like the dark passenger switched to Deb to stop him from murdering, versus like the dark passenger for I forgot his name in the show, but dark passenger for his father was to help him control how he was murdering.
You know what's crazy?
What's that?
Is I could go take a shit right now, pull it out the toilet, put some fish fry seasoning on there, some chicken seasoning, drop it in the deep fryer, tell them niggas chicken nugget, and when they bite into it, it's still gonna be shit. That's what that explanation sounds like to me.
That's true.
Like, look, just say we fucked up. Just say, hey, look, we thought we were gonna get cute and put Deb as the dark passenger. Hey, that just wasn't a good idea. So we just gonna go back to Harry. Like, you ain't
Harry, yeah, that's the name.
You ain't gotta do the whole man. Well, hey, the dark. Hey, if you don't kill for 10 years, you get a new dark passenger. Like when they try to stop you from killing, like, no, just say you messed up. Don't give me no press release about why you'll just forget, because when you rolled the show out, that ain't what you told us.
Yeah,
you ain't tell us that. You ain't say nothing because you thought it was gonna go over well. Then you realize it ain't go over well. Now you're trying to backpedal. Sound like Kevin Lyles when Kevin Lyles said that Joe Budden's first album didn't sell because on the mixtapes he was Joe Buttons with an S, and when the album came out, it was Joe Budden without the S, so people didn't think it was the same person.
Yeah, but
like people can't read Kevin.
That was terrible. I mean, you can say shit is shit, So yeah, that was a terrible. That was that felt like a record exec just trying to pull the wool over your face. It's like that was some bullshit.
It's like,
Oh,
man,
you throw the S on it.
Like, man, half these people out here read at the same level as Fantasia at the time.
But so look at
They
it
ain't know
like
whether
this.
the S was there or not.
But look at it like this. This is what I'm telling you. Like what we said earlier, how I didn't listen to Joe Budden mixtapes, but I bought Joe Budden's album. You know what I'm saying? So like I wasn't I'd never been a mixtape. Like if any, like I told you, I would listen to Clue. Like I was more so from the DJ produced mixtapes. So like when 50 came, it kind of, it was a different thing. So, you know, you talking the 50s, the Lil Wayne's and the who else? Jeezys and shit like that. Like, so I was into it just because I was still learning those artists. But after a while, I was like, I don't want to hear I want to hear an album. I feel like an album is like everybody decided that this is the best material to put out. So all that being said, I didn't listen to, I listened to Joe Budden.
But Joe Budden didn't even have his own mixtapes.
No, but I'm saying I listened to Joe Budden
on the tapes.
Yeah, but I'm saying I listened to Joe Budden on those mixtapes. Not like that, but I probably, honestly, to be truthfully honest, I probably didn't listen to Joe Budden unless he was a part of a feature in that point in time, because I didn't know who the fuck Joe Budden was.
Right.
But then when I knew who Joe Budden was, I was like, okay, this dude can rap. Okay, let me see what else I can hear from him. But then when his album came out, Pump It Up came out and all this, I was like, okay, he got a bop. Pump It Up came out. I bought the album off the shit. Like I bought it first week, all that shit. But I didn't buy it based off of the mixtape. I bought it based off of who he was and how I wanted to, like, I wouldn't buy, I put it like this. I wasn't buying a Clue mixtape because Joe Budden was on it. But I bought Joe Budden's album just because it was Joe Budden.
Joe Budden wasn't on the Clue tapes. That was Joe Budden's.
Oh, my.
But go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't buying it because of Joe Budden's. I was buying it because I like the artist and I think he was dope. You know.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. But yeah, that's all these people. So did Kevin Nas release that press release about like the Dark Passenger?
No, it wasn't Kevin Nas. It was definitely it was shit. I want to say, was it?
Might have been the white Kevin Nas.
It was I gotta go back and watch it, but I almost feel like I forgot the actor's name that plays Dexter, but I feel like he was a part of the conversation on why it was Harry instead of why it was Deb. So
look, you don't know, man. Somebody just wrote a script for you. Now you want to be EP. Shut up.
Hey, Dexter's getting paid, man. Like I know, because he voiced over the prequel.
Yeah,
so
that's why it's coming back, because he need a paycheck.
I mean, he did that whack ass movie. It was some movie. It was almost like Fate, Player One, but it wasn't Player One, but it was a movie like Player One where it was like a video game thing that he did around the Dexter time that was kind of whack. And I don't remember him, but they was I don't know. I feel like when you that type of character, people tend to throw you in the movie just like you had Bryan Cranston popping up his shit. You had I mean, it could work for some. I thought Bryan Cranston did all right, and one of them, it was Kong or whatever that King Kong. It was whatever that universe was. With the King Kong and Godzilla and all that shit.
All good actors have a misstep. Nia Long has Love Jones on her resume. Well, everybody messes up.
So reverting back all the way back to this, how do you feel about Ime Udoka getting Kevin Durant, and he fucked over Nia?
I think he served them right in that case. Like you deserve to get a malcontent like KD on your team. That's what you deserve. This your team was up and coming. Actually, that's Ime, whatever his name is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what? You deserve
Ime fucking Udoka. fucking over Nia.
You deserve this because you played Nia.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you deserve to have like your Houston gonna be like a play-in tournament team next year, and it's gonna be the curse of Nia.
Do you think he deserves any of that championship that Boston got?
I mean, we're gonna give Doug Collins a ring. We're gonna give Rick Carlisle a ring for Detroit. I mean,
I will say this. I feel like he had more voice in the locker room. No, I don't want to say that. I don't know what their voice.
The funny thing to me, what it shows though, is that like I'm trying to not be.
Say that shit, nigga.
He screwed me over. So okay.
Say that shit, man.
Hey,
I don't fuck with Larry. You know, I don't fuck with Larry Brown because Larry Brown fucked over. Like, and like I said, this ain't even about the Darko shit. But motherfucking Larry Brown, I felt like was handed the championship team, and I felt like he showed. I felt like he showed what he could do with talent and what he couldn't do with talent with the championship team and the USA team.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but no, I think the fact that Joe Mazzulla came in and did they win the championship the first year he was gone, or was it the second year?
I feel like it was the second year. I feel like the first year
because they
went to the finals.
Yeah,
they did go to the finals though, but I feel like the second because they went to the finals against Golden. Was that Golden State? When Golden State won that random chip and shit. I think that was the year. I think that was a random chip that Golden State like nobody. Steph Curry finally got like a Finals MVP. I feel like that was that year.
Was that Boston or was that?
Oh shit! I don't know who else it would have been. Nobody else I would have thought came out of the East outside of maybe Milwaukee, because that Milwaukee only made the finals once.
Because I remember Boston. Who was it? It was the one year. I feel like it was a year before they won the finals. They lost to Miami. So in 2023. 2023, Miami went up like I think 3-1 or 3-0. And then Boston came back to make it a 7-game, but they still lost. So I think that was his first year because that would have been 2023. Then 2024 would have been when he won it all. I'm saying all that to say, like, man, like, he made like, man, I mean, Joe Mazzulla came in, man, and just did what you. Joe Mazzulla came in and won the chip. Like, I don't know that's a.
Yeah, it was 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, Golden State beat Boston. Denver in 2023 beat Miami Heat. And then,
so who was the coach in 2022? Was that Joe Mazzulla?
Yep.
Or was that?
I felt like that was Mazzulla. I don't think that was Ime because Ime was. I feel like Ime was gone by then. Well, no, hold on. That had to be Ime because that was the only year that they made it to the finals. They only made it to the finals 3 times or 2 times. Made it to the finals 2024, 2022. Yeah, they only made it twice. I feel like Ime took them once.
Okay, yeah, he took. Yep, I'm looking at his Wikipedia now. He took them to the 2022 finals, and then he was suspended that next year.
Yeah.
So
Denver
I guess
beat Miami 4-1 the year after.
Yeah, like man, like if you, I don't know, man, if you're this awe-inspiring coach, man, why Boston ain't bring you back? Like why the players? Like why tell them? Like, I mean,
you said why Boston bring Ime back?
Like say Jason, like I'm saying, like if you were this old awe-inspiring, all the players love you, coach. Jason Tatum would have went to Boston leadership ownership and saying, "Hey, I want Ime back."
Oh, he fucked the ownership
bring him
though.
back.
He fucked the ownership though.
Did he? Well, whatever.
I mean, fuck the.
Look, all I'm saying, I don't even know how we got.
That's why I didn't get brought back.
Oh, you asked should he get a piece of the ring?
Oh! You talking about bring him back to get like the ring ceremony type of shit?
You were talking about.
Okay.
No,
I thought you were talking about like bring
like,
him back as a coach. I was like, nah. I think he fucked one of the owners. Or not the owner,
people,
but he fucked somebody's wife in that scenario.
He did. But no, I'm saying like, man, like Doug Collins. I said Rick Carlisle in Detroit, and I'm sure we could probably, if you went back and looked at some of these championship teams, you might be able to look at like a coach who.
What was it? Is it Wes Unseld? Is that the dude? I think that was coach for the Lakers or whatever. Did you watch the Lakers series, the Lakers show, which I thought was whack that they canceled, but the Lakers show on HBO Max.
Paul, are you talking about Paul Westphal?
Yeah. Well, Paul. Wait. Nah, it was another.
No, not Paul Westphal.
Nah,
it was a coach before Riley, right?
Yeah. I can't think of his name. It wasn't Unseld. I feel like Unseld. I think he's associated to Washington. But
yeah, I saw those. Yeah.
But yeah, like
because he got fired and Riley came in.
He got fired and Riley.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He won it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he won it Magic's first year.
Yeah. Then got fired.
I mean, I get it. I mean, don't get Ime. I mean, I'm talking about like credit for the roster, honestly, because I feel like Ime was a big part of saying, you know what, Kyrie don't work here. We gotta get rid of him because we got these two young dudes, and we'll figure out the guard stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, and plus the stuff he's doing in Houston. I mean, even though, like I said, he fucked over Nia, but fuck him.
Yeah, but, I mean, I don't think he's a bad coach, and I like you said, I think it shows that like how he's been able to turn that team around. But now he gets to turn it around with KD. If he can get to the Western Conference Finals with KD, he might have to be considered as a all-time top 5 coach.
It's just weird though, man. It's like, is KD at the point? We could probably talk about this on another pod, but this is like the older players. Are they the players that are turning around rosters anymore? I thought, if you ask my opinion of how I felt before I heard about this trade, I would have said Houston, Indiana, these types of teams. Like I feel like that's where the NBA is shifting, where you don't have, or even Detroit, where you don't have like don't get me wrong, Cade is an all-star and all that stuff, but it's like you don't have the players of yesteryear that are driving these teams to be that good. I mean, you got Cade, I think Cade is 24, maybe. Right. You talking even in Houston, you had I like Jalen Green, honestly. But then, like I said, you got the Thompson twins. There's one in Houston, one in Detroit. But then you got fucking Indiana. You got Halliburton that's like fucking shit, nigga. OKC, nigga, like all them niggas is young. OKC, all them niggas, all the like guys, what, 24? You say what?
Yeah. I think it's just the league is transitioning. So all these players, your KDs, your LeBrons, your Stephs, and all that, like they're not like the majority of them aren't gonna be franchise changing players anymore. Mm-hmm. Like probably your elder statesmen now that will probably be like franchise changers. It's gonna probably be somebody like Giannis, who isn't as young as say like SGA, but he's not as old as LeBron and Curry. But like if you put Giannis on a team, like I saw some little trade, I don't think it'll happen, but it was a trade with Detroit where I think they, the proposal was given up, I think Ivy, I think Isaiah Stewart, and maybe like I think 3 first-round picks. And I was like,
for Giannis?
Yeah, I don't think. I think how the people are just throwing these little random things out that will never happen.
I mean, they ain't gonna. Minnesota's not. I mean, Milwaukee is not gonna do that. But I mean, if you get anything close to that to Giannis right now, and Giannis, in my opinion, is a perfect. Like Giannis is a small market type of superstar. I mean, he could be bigger, but I mean, I'm saying like Giannis would fit well within the Pistons, like because Giannis is a defensive player of the year. Like Giannis has that energy about him where he'll dominate on the offensive end, but he'll dominate just as much on the defensive end as well.
Yeah, and I think adding somebody like Giannis, so I think like, and I off the top of my head, I can't think of who's out there like
Giannis would be perfect for Detroit. But they have to give away everything to get him. But Giannis would be perfect for Detroit.
But I think Giannis, you could plug him into a lot of NBA teams, and right now he will be like what KD was supposed to be when he went to like Brooklyn. Like that's I think that's the point that Giannis is at here in his career. And I think you're the ones above him, your LeBrons and your Currys. Like, this is it. I think what you'll get from them is if they leave the teams that they're with, it'll be them maybe. And I'm not gonna say like they won't be a contributor or anything, but like say Steph were to somehow get moved, like you would put Steph somewhere where like, he can still shoot. Cause I mean, he's a shooter. He's gonna still be able to like.
He definitely have to go to a contender. I'm trying to think of like I can't think of like no team off. Like he can't go to a Portland.
No. But if he went to
honestly, if he went to Houston, I think I would prefer Steph over KD in Houston.
Yeah. I think if you would, if that trade would have got worked out with Jalen, it would have been Jalen Green coming over. I mean, Steph coming over in exchange for like Jalen Green. Like, I think you
do that. You pull that trigger.
Yeah, you get that. Like, I think I'm trying to think of who's there.
Shooters never, and that's the thing. That's a dope part of like, and KD's a shooter, so I'm not gonna take that from him. But like Steph, if you just say, "Hey, Steph, stay in the corner, Steph, stay over here, and we need you to come in and get us 15 points off the bench." I mean, he's still a starter, but I'm saying like if you say, "Hey, look, we need you to get 15 points," Steph would get 15 to 20 points off of the bench. For his role. So
if you mess around and Steph ended up in OKC and they still kept like
a
player like SGA, Steph will be, or I'm even thinking like, man, say you would have thrown him in Boston. Say you're in a world where Jason Tatum doesn't get hurt. And you end up with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and you possibly trade in Drew Holiday. Now you're gonna lose something on the defensive end. But that's similar to like when KD came to like Golden State.
Any player in the league,
huh?
I said you didn't trade Steph for any player in the league.
Yeah, like
he's that type of player.
Yeah, and I think he is. Yeah, I think you do, but like you said, if you're a team
in this league, Steph, in my opinion, and I think it's truth, but Steph has created the league that we're playing in now. So him being on any team would be extremely beneficial. Like just because, like, the league plays like Steph. So you say you put him on Boston, you put him on the Knicks, you put him on I don't know, I ain't gonna say Brooklyn, but you put him on I don't know, fucking Detroit. You put him on like Steph will work in Detroit. Like he's not even a defensive minded type of player, but Steph, like he provides offense, and that's what the league is sitting around anyway. So,
and if you put Steph somewhere where like Steph is gonna draw like them double and triple teams, then like he might get bottled up a little bit, but he gonna create open looks for other players. So as long as you guys like you say, if you take Detroit where they got like Malik Beasley there who can put it up, like. Man, Malik Beasley would get so many more open looks if like he was playing like with Steph and everything. But yeah, I don't. It ain't like thinking about Steph might be one of the last players in his generation. And there's some others. But KD,
I think every player are trying to play like Steph. So I mean, like you said, you look at the frequency of 3-pointers now compared to. I posted this meme about the 3-pointers being shot like years ago, and it's like damn near half the amount. I mean, you're talking like Larry Bird that took maybe three 3-pointers a game. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And like regular niggas in the league, like you got Malik Beasley that's probably averaging 6 or 7 3-pointers a game. You know, so it's stuff like that that's just like the league is built for Steph. I don't know. So
that's definitely true.
Cool. All right, man. Anything else you want to focus on? I know we can lean to other topics too another time, but man, it's always great having conversations. Anything else you want to jump in, or are we all good?
No, I think we're all good.
Cool.
I guess I'm gonna get ready for this finals.
Yeah, man. That's I already have my starter drink, so I'm
Yeah, I got some Buffalo Trace here. Who calls the games for ESPN now? Do you know?
Nigga, that shit is terrible.
That's dang.
What's the name does cover? What's his name? Light skinned dude used to play for Arizona. He's
Richard
actually
Jefferson?
he's not that bad. He's not that bad, but everybody else. And I'm really interested on how they're going to do this TNT because I don't know how the structure is set up, but I don't know if you watch a ESPN game from front to back, right? And I'm just gonna go from the halftime, right? You watch a game, you hit halftime commercial, they come back, 30 seconds, they talk, 30 seconds, back to commercial, come back, they talk for like 15 seconds, another commercial. Like it's literally no halftime show. That's what is going to be missing, and I'm hoping they can work this out within the TNT structure or within the structure of NBA on TNT or inside the NBA. But it's just, it's a huge, like people don't see it as being that big, and it don't have to be. But man, watching halftime. I know you record the game, or you were recording the games for TNT, and I'm gonna explain it like this: I would watch the halftime show, and after the game, and not watch the game. Of a game on TNT versus
that's what
me watching on anything on ESPN. I would watch the game, and I would be in and out the game, but I wouldn't watch before and after, or halftime, or closing of the game, or after the game.
Yeah, my halftime is when I could get up and actually do something if the game was on ESPN and I was watching it. TNT is like, I really can't get up except at commercial breaks because I'm gonna be watching the halftime show. Like I'm gonna be watching the game. Like I don't know, like because part of me thinks like that constant, those constant ad breaks. Like, I feel like somebody got to be paying for that. And, where people saying it can be simple, can it?
Nah, they need that money. They want their stuff shown. Yeah. And you brought up a great point. Well, one thing you just said, you would get up halftime, all that stuff. I would get like ESPN or a TNT game. I would get up with like 7 or 8 minutes to go into the half just because I know that I can get something done before the halftime show starts.
Yep. And then come check out the halftime show. Yeah. But now, from what I've heard that ESPN claims they're not gonna like do anything to change the inside the NBA show, but like I don't, like I said, I don't even know how that works. Do you? Because I don't know what days they get. I know like so because I currently went.
I'm gonna pay attention to Barkley throughout this whole ordeal. That's what I'm gonna make sure I do. Barkley is not gonna sugarcoat it. I remember this one video, or while I was watching it live, he was saying like, "Yeah, man, how they be working over there? Like they be over there. They have you on ESPN Ocho." It was like what?
2, 3 ESPN News.
Yeah, you on ESPN Suavemente.
He's like Deportes. Like, I ain't doing all of that. I don't know, man. I'm gonna see how it goes, but it'd be nice if ESPN did very little to touch it because it ain't like they got a good blueprint. Like Like, so just let them rock and do what they want to do. And I don't know, like because I know the way TNT did it, like they had games on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they had like a different crew on Tuesdays. Now Shaq would sit with them. It was usually like Shaq, Candace Parker, I think Adam Lefko, or is another guy, like some
But
other
even
white
the
guy.
extra niggas was good though. You talking?
No, they
What's my man? With the handle, Jamal.
Jamal Crawford.
Yeah, dope.
Nah.
He dope as hell too. Even Vince Carter. I've seen Dwayne Wade get up there sometimes.
Yeah.
Fucking what's the name is good. Draymond when he ain't playing. You know, it's like
Nah, they were dope. But my thing is knowing that ESPN doesn't have the same dope people. Man, if they get 2 nights a week, I hope they would just dedicate one to the Inside the NBA crew, meaning like they get the pregame, like they get what they got on TNT. They get the pregame show, they get the halftime, and then get the postgame. And you don't touch that as much as possible. Like I know there's gonna be things to ask that you. Huh? Yeah, they ain't. But that's to me that would be my.
They gonna work his way in there, and I'm not gonna like it.
Yeah, exactly. Like he gonna start off as a special guest. He gonna be there. Hey, Inside the NBA on ESPN. I'm here with y'all, and then like you said, every other week, Stevie A gonna be on there, and then you gonna get to the playoffs. He gonna be there every day. And nah, man, like, man, it's a reason why. It's a reason why, like that show was beloved, and. You ain't need Stephen A. Smith. You ain't need Michael. You didn't need ESPN. Like
it was cool. Like Jalen Rose was actually pretty good with the TNT crew. He could work. Everybody else, just get rid of him.
ESPN fired him. So how do that work? They gonna hire him back?
Mm-hmm. Wait, they fired Jalen Rose?
Yeah, Jalen Rose don't do ESPN no more. He got fired like I think 2-3 years ago.
Oh,
remember when they were going through? They were firing a bunch of people. Remember Mark Jackson got fired.
Oh shoot! I remember that. I remember that firing, but for some reason I thought Jalen was still there. Is Molly still there?
I don't know. I don't watch First Take. I think she is. I don't think Jalen. It may be Jalen. Maybe if Jalen Rose is still there, maybe he transitioned because I know he did a couple other things.
I know. I don't know why Kendrick's still there. Kendrick is definitely still there. Kendrick Perkins.
Man, talking about people that could have got fired.
Yeah, that nigga. Like, so
I want to say I don't think Jalen Rose is on ESPN because he popped up on TNT, and I don't.
But and that was I thought they were doing, and like I said, I can tell you, I thought they were putting him on TNT to kind of blend, like to get the transition a little smoother from when they shifted over. Like, I mean, he's probably fired. I mean, he was fired, like you said.
They said he was laid off on June 30th, 2023.
Yeah, for some reason I thought when I saw him on TNT, I thought he was still on. I don't watch the ESPN, so I wouldn't. I don't know. But yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
because like I said, I just remember because it was in that whole wave of like a lot of their basketball people seem to get laid off. Yeah, like Van Gundy.
Did Mike Breen get laid off too?
Yep, I think Mike Breen.
Mike Breen is dope as fuck. Why would you get rid of Bang? Like, get rid of that. Man, like it was, you got to bring that shit to NBC at least, because I still don't know why they hiring Jordan for that, but but I don't know. Like, but when I saw how they were setting it up, I was like, okay, Jordan, Melo, the Jordan crew, and stuff like that. I fuck with Jordans and I fuck with Melo, but at the same time, it's like, okay, like he gonna have his own little Jordan segment, to show why he's still, the GOAT or greatest. So
he ain't the GOAT. Oh, look like Mike Breen might still be there actually.
At ESPN?
Yeah. I guess we'll find out tonight.
Is what's the name there? What's that nigga name? I can't think. I don't know. I'll think of it later.
Yeah, so, Mike Breen is still there though.
I don't
know who be working with him though.
Your boy that be biting niggas ain't there. That nigga had to let go a long time ago.
Who, Paul Pierce?
Nah, Marv Albert.
I thought you meant biting as in like copying their style. I didn't know you meant.
Nah, I'm talking about biting as in biting women and shit.
Yeah. Because he was on TNT. I remember when he retired.
Old nigga. I was like, look at this nigga getting dirty and
Hey
shit.
man,
That's almost as bad
everybody
as
got their little freaky side.
Dude, that's almost as bad as De La Hoya and the motherfucking Hills and shit. They said he did all that shit too.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah. De La Hoya.
These niggas biting niggas and wearing heels and shit. I'm like taking photos, like nigga posing. Come on, man, do better. You ain't gonna never catch me in no heels. I did tell. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to the pod with Brian, but I told that nigga like nigga, I ain't gay, but shit, we was talking about what's the nigga? I don't know how we got on this topic, but we was talking about how what's the nigga who I said played for Blake Griffin, how that nigga had to pay out like $50,000 and $50,000 a month for child support. And I was like, shit. Blake Griffin can give it to me for $50K a year or $50K a month. Shit, for the rest of my life.
Oh man. How many times a month you gotta give it to you?
I'll just say one total.
But I don't even want to delve into this rabbit hole, so I ain't even ask no more questions.
$50K a month. Come on, $60,000 a year. Come on, you know, for the rest of your life, for 18 years. Sorry, man, Blake. I ain't gay, but Blake could have Blake can catch up with me whenever he want to.
Like what kind of catching up is this involved? Like you gonna be catching? Like, are you?
Thank you all for listening to the Reality of That podcast with your boy DJ Reality and your boy Eddie Williams. Thank you all. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. Blake can catch all of this, just FYI, for $50,000 a month. But
notice he ain't say pause, and he always say
there
pause.
is no pause in that. Like
Blake
can get to know me for $600K a year. That's what? Yeah, that's a lot of money. Shit, that's $6 million after 10 years. Shit, fuck that shit. Anyway, thank y'all all for listening. Hope that you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Talk to you all soon. Peace.